This edition of Tech Talk is brought to you in part by Telex, the interconnection company, owners and operators of 56 Marietta, the most network-rich co-location facility in the Southeast. Tag TV and Tag Radio. Technology now has a voice of innovation and information. Get it on www.tagtvonline.com. In less than a year, he has already formalized a vision, a board, and 2 highly successful events. John Hurlbut, the new executive director of the Tag Education Collaborative. The challenge: how can we ensure a flow of future talent with the technical and analytical skills to grow our businesses in Georgia while enhancing teamwork and morale within companies today? Greetings, everyone. It's Tuesday, August 4th, 2009, and this is Tech Talk with Technology Association of Georgia President Tino Mantella. I'm your guest host, Frank Baia. On this issue of Tech Talk, we meet John Hurlbut, Executive Director, Tag Education Collaborative, and explore the only organization of its kind, an organization that can offer access to thousands of potential volunteers dedicated to assisting initiatives focused on the challenges presented by the future knowledge-based workforce shortage and the need for improved interest in the areas of science, technology, engineering, and math, better known as STEM. John has served the Atlanta nonprofit community for more than 14 years, primarily as the Chief Financial Officer for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro Atlanta Incorporated. During his 12 years at the Boys and Girls Clubs, the organization doubled its membership, added several new club sites, and introduced numerous new programs. John also spearheaded several education initiatives that had significant impact on members' school performance. Honored with multiple awards for outstanding contributions to the community, John received a 2000 Distinguished Level Award from the Professional Association of Boys and Girls Clubs of America and the 2005 Glenn Pelham Award from Emory University. Prior to the Boys and Girls Clubs, John spent almost 20 years in finance as a certified financial planner, corporate controller, and public accountant in Atlanta and New York City. The Tech Talk turns to TAG's Education Collaborative and how it plans to combine TAG's extensive technology network with STEM leaders' expertise to advance Georgia's future workforce, as we meet its Executive Director, John Hurlbut. John, welcome to Tech Talk.
Thank you very much, Frank. It's great to be here.
Well, congratulations. I know it's been a little bit of a while now. I think from the beginning of the year you were made the Executive Director for the TAG Education Collaborative. But kind of maybe give us a little insight as to what those several months now have been about and maybe some of the major accomplishments up to this time.
Well, it's been a lot of fun, actually, Frank, and I'm proud to say that we've completed 2 very successful programs to date, our Web Challenge 2009 and our first annual summer internship program, for rising high school seniors. To refresh your memory, Web Challenge is a high school program where students develop websites based on a predetermined theme and compete for college scholarships. This year, we were able to provide over $20,000 in scholarships to the winners. And we also conducted our first annual Web Challenge Awards Dinner, which was attended by 150 students, parents, educators, and business professionals. And by the way, Frank, we want to thank you and your staff at Global Speak for capturing the event on TAG TV. The interviews with the students were spectacular.
Well, thanks for that. You know, John, I think a lot of people who get an opportunity to participate in those things come away really impressed with the magnitude of the intelligence and the creativity and really the entrepreneurship of what you would perceive to be pretty young students that you wouldn't think were really ready for prime time. And some of them, as you and I both know, have micro businesses that they're already started right out of high school.
Yeah, I think you saw that in a couple of your interviews that those kids are ready to take on some big things already. Another program that actually demonstrated a lot of the same things was our first summer internship program for rising high school seniors. It really exceeded expectations. We were able to place 33 students from 18 high schools with 15 different mentoring companies for actually paid internships for between 5 and 9 weeks. The total stipends that we paid for these assignments were close to $40,000. Both the students and the mentoring companies have given us really high marks for that program, and we look to expand it further in the upcoming year throughout Georgia.
I think you and I have talked about it before in terms of sense of identity or sense of place, that so many of our young people and even the whatever X, Y generation people that we're trying to either, enlarge as a workforce or attract as a workforce really don't get an opportunity to meet some of the incredible innovators and the kind of talent and executives that are in our business. So program like the Web Challenge is one thing. This intern program was hit it out of the ballpark home run. I mean, I think it really is a really great opportunity for these young people to get a frontline experience. The other side of it is to really have placed so many and done it so quickly. It's pretty impressive.
Well, thank you, and it's really allowed us to build some leadership support as well. The business community has really rallied around this, which has helped us build up a really strong board of directors at the TAG Education Collaborative. We have now a board of 15 C-level executives who have a passion for education and also very strong influential community connections. The board is currently leading the TAG Education Collaborative through a strategic planning process that will position it, hopefully, to make significant impact on the STEM workforce in Georgia.
Now, again, before we leave, because this year, I mean, you hit the ground running. Again, it was probably early in this year that you actually took the reins as executive director. Obviously, you've already achieved a couple of grand events just hitting the ground in the midst of forming a whole kind of new entity as far as the Education Collaborative is concerned, and then a board. Before we move on to taking a look at the future, let's talk a little bit about the rest of the year. What have you got planned for the rest of 2009 and maybe into 2010?
Well, one of the things we've found in what we've done so far is even though we've had some good accomplishments, Frank, and I appreciate you acknowledging that, we feel we've only scratched the surface on a field of opportunities. And one of the big things that we have to do is expand our collaborations. We currently have strong collaborations with universities such as Georgia Tech and Georgia State University, Kennesaw State University, Emory University, and Southern Polytechnic State University. We need to grow these collaborations and develop more relationships with middle schools, high schools, and school districts in general all over Georgia. Beginning collaborations with other nonprofits is also a part of the plan. The second thing that we're going to be focusing on is enhance awareness of STEM. STEM, as you know, is an internationally accepted acronym, but it's not yet universally known or understood here locally. We're currently working on a marketing plan, which we feel will go a long way in correcting this while promoting the TAG Education Collaborative's role in addressing STEM education.
Well, you might start right here. What's the acronym stand for?
Well, Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics.
STEM, Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. Okay.
Okay.
And, of course, again, the effort here has got to do with the knowledge workforce of the future and some of the concerns I think a lot of professionals have about the grooming of the kind of globally competitive resources that we're going to have. And obviously, it starts at the very STEM, at the very beginning of science, technology, engineering, and math. Maybe go into a little bit about that part of it as well.
Well, I think that one of the things about STEM that is not understood is it really has two connected components within it. You have science and math, which are the curricula that's a critical part of educating these students to become the beginning of this employment chain that hopefully will be generated down the road. And technology and engineering are the tools and thinking processes that go with using that those curricula to do creative things. And that's what we want to try to impart to folks through an advanced using some advanced marketing vehicles. We're going to be using hopefully some unique websites, social media, press releases, public speaking opportunities, things of that nature, to help the Georgia Department of Education, the Board of Regents, and others really get the word out about what STEM is all about.
Now, I think I heard it once that if the conflict is major, the success is glorious. Obviously the challenges have got to be many, but maybe highlight what do you perceive to be the greatest challenge as far as trying to move this education collaborative forward?
Well, I think the greatest challenge is creating a sense of urgency. The consequences of our neglect in STEM nationally are becoming evident.
Mm-hmm.
China has surpassed the U.S. as the world's largest exporter of information technology products, while the U.S. has become a net importer of these products. So we really have to redouble our efforts to ensure that America is a technological leader in the 21st century, and there's no reason why we can't get back to that again, but it definitely starts with good teachers and good students. At the TAG Education Collaborative, we're focusing our efforts on middle schools and high schools to improve STEM education. And as we educate and energize students and parents as to the importance of their role in advancing STEM education, we can gain greater support from the public and private sectors to elevate our initiatives in this area, we feel.
Now, tough, kind of a hardball question, but I guess I got to ask it, and that is, do you feel you've got a strong enough model to continue the growth and obviously sustain your operation? How do you plan on doing that?
Well, I certainly feel that way, or I wouldn't be in this position. I think that one of the biggest things that we have is we're an efficient organization. As I mentioned earlier, the TAG Education Collaborative has a strong board of directors who take their responsibilities very seriously. In addition, TAG provides tremendous support, both operationally and financially. And actually, TAG financially supports the work of the TAG Education Collaborative through its premier membership program, the TAG It Golf Tournament, which will be coming up next month, and the Techie 10K, which is going to be a road race, a first-time road race for TAG and Tech to partner on, which is going to be, we think, a very exciting event in October.
Well, we're kind of unfortunately running out of time. One of the things I want you to cover is there, if I wanted to volunteer, I wanted to get involved, I know there's a website in development, but at the moment, would they contact you at the TAG offices? Is there a number they can reach you at?
Absolutely, Frank. They can reach me at 404-920-2038. They can also reach me on my cell phone at 678-984-1556. And currently, we are using part of the TAG website, so you can at www.tagonline.org, and there's a link to the TAG Education Collaborative on there.
Under the major nav of, what is it under, resources or services? I'm trying to remember which nav it's under. Do you remember?
It's under resources, but it is also now I think they just retooled the website. I'm sorry to not have the exact.
Well, and I'm sorry to stump you. One of the good parts is that it's on the TAG website, and they certainly can go to it. Repeat the phone number real quick because we're running out of time. I got one last question I want to talk to you about trends, and then maybe we'll be able to close it off. But one last time, the direct line to you?
404-920-2038.
Okay, in wrapping it up, it's always good to not only look at where we are, but where we're going. Maybe talk a little bit about an important trend impacting education in the future, and not only that trend, but what do you think the role of the TAG Education Collaborative can play in making a difference in that role?
Frank, I think the most important trend is something that we actually were able to touch on early, and that's exposing high school students to STEM careers. The TAG Education Collaborative wants to expand its summer internship program to more of Georgia to provide a deeper impact on a student's performance. And some schools have internships during the school year, but we feel a summer experience provides so much more for those students and provides a continuous, seamless experience for the students leading up to their future jobs.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. In less than a year, you've turned an intangible into a momentum that's really beginning to gather a lot of traction, a lot of buzz, a lot of interest. We hear a lot about it around town. We've been talking to John Hurlbut, Executive Director of the TAG Education Collaborative. John, thank you so much for joining us today on Tech Talk.
Thank you very much, Frank. I enjoyed it.